Heyo! And welcome to the Young Thug RICO-Trial, Day 41, Part 2. Attorney Steele is on the offense against Adrian Bean. Mr. Steele, as we left off just before lunch on yesterday, and then he came back and his pressure just mounted. So we will watch the afternoon of the Young Thug RICO-Trial on today's show. All right. Yeah. All right. I hope a few of you joined from the previous Jodi Arias reading. And I hope my usual audience will pick this up and get over here. And say something in chat so I know you are here. I wouldn't mind that at all. Hello, Nukur-san. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. And yeah, so part 2 is after lunch yesterday. And yeah, Mr. Steele, I mean, he's quite aggressive, even very aggressive in the afternoon. And this is because he has actual evidence he wants in. Now, how he's getting it in, that's the issue, and that hence his aggressiveness. And I watched part of it. Yeah, this is going to be a banger. I apologize for the absolute snooze fest that was the prosecution's their questioning of Mr. Bean. Hello, Bree. Hello, Nivolf. Hello, Elizabeth, Peace Peony, and Shannon. Yeah. For every no, ma'am, the snooze fest, I thought of two alternatives here. Either they would ask no questions of Mr. Bean, or they would move in so they were sure this would last the entire rest of the day, Monday. So the jury went home with the cross-examination during this week. The trial isn't happening. Hello, Sardonisms and Stray and everybody. Hello. Good to have you all here. So, there they are. a bit there. Let's find Mr. Jingles. So this is after lunch, day 41. This will get interesting, I promise.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right, thank you, Sergeant Ingram. All right, Mr. Steele.
Do you remember after driving the 2004 Nissan Altima vehicle into the side of the building, the laundromat, do you remember being arrested?
I don't recall, sir.
Do you remember that after being struck by the police car, you were then handcuffed and taken into police custody? Same day.
No, sir.
Do you recall then being taken to the hospital, Grady Hospital, for injuries?
No, sir.
I couldn't hear you.
No, sir.
You don't remember. Do you remember in Grady Hospital, a law enforcement officer, detective with the City of Atlanta Police Department coming out and speaking with you?
My statement was I don't remember nothing from 2013, sir.
Do you remember that while at Grady Hospital, this is before ever being taken to the Fulton County Jail, you spoke with that detective?
No, sir.
Do you remember the detective asking you questions about the incident involving the armed robbery of Mr. Dotson and almost killing police officer Robertson L. and striking the other police officer's vehicle and careening over the embankment into the wall and fleeing? Do you remember that?
No, sir.
Do you remember telling that detective, specifically Detective Lewis, at that time, that there were 3 people in the Nissan red Altima vehicle?
No, sir.
Do you remember telling Detective Lewis, or whoever the detective is? You don't have to remember a name. This is a long time ago. Do you remember stating that the driver was not you?
No, sir.
Do you remember lying that the driver was not you and saying that the driver was your dear friend, Fred Plethro?
No, sir.
Fred Plethro and you are good friends, fair to say, or were good friends?
I don't recall, sir.
You don't remember stating that Fred Plethro is like your brother?
No, sir.
You've been arrested and indicted with Fred Plethro in the past, right? Not only the September 11, 2013 case, but other case, right?
No, sir.
You deny that?
Yes, sir.
This piece here is important because he forgot to say, I don't remember. He denied having been charged or indicted with this person prior to 2013. That's an opening. This will come in handy.
To be fair to you, and maybe it doesn't need repeating.
I don't remember no case from
Let me just finish speaking.
Fred Plethro.
Let me just finish speaking, then what did you say? I apologize. What did you say?
The same thing I've been saying.
Okay. I didn't hear what you just said about Fred Plethro.
I don't remember no case with him.
Okay.
Being indicted with him. No, I don't.
Let me show you what I've marked as Mr. Williams number 200, exhibit number 200.
Nokura-san asked, do we know what the ruling of the judge was regarding the recording? As per usual, the judge defers it forward because the cross-examination is still ongoing so they will continue on Wednesday next week. Monday, Tuesday next week is not trial day. They will resume on the 13th. And by then, I hope they have reached an agreement. But still, it's very important. Every time he does not say, I don't recall, it just denies it happening, that's an opening.
Your Honor, I'd like to object to this and I'd like to approach.
Okay.
Of course. This gets us to sidebar counter 103. Yeah, 103. I watched part of this, but yeah, I watched part of it, not the entirety, but part of it. And let's see when they get back from this sidebar. Quite fast.
Thank you, sir. Your Honor, may I approach Mr. B?
You may.
May I approach you, sir?
Sir,
Say yes.
yes, sir.
I'm showing you what I've marked in today's date, Mr. Williams, exhibit number 200. Take a look at that. Tell me if you recognize what is in Mr. Williams number 200.
In a few minutes, Mr. Bean will get more and more agitated. He really does like having this read back to him in open court. This because he works for a company that does contract with the city. That is something I didn't know, and I guess that is why he kept why he held that back. Oh, he's a foreman. Oh, Oh, no. He got the question, do you work for the city? No, not directly. Oh, you work for somebody who works for the city. So by that, okay, he works for somebody who has a contract with the city of Atlanta. Whatever that is. And I'm guessing, city of Atlanta might be very interested in, oh, really? You are? Let's check. Because he's still on probation. His probation ends later this year. He can still have his probation revoked. He was sentenced in 2015 to 3 years plus 7 years. No, 2015, 3 years plus 7 years probation. He got out after 2 years and a couple of months, so he's still on probation. No curious and probation ends 2030. They got 15 years. From the papers I saw, the 10-year was concurrent, and so was the other things concurrent. But because there were two Alfred pleads at the same date in 2015, and I think the biggest was 10 years, 3 plus 7. Oh, thank you, Nokura-san. The last Albert plea had consecutive. Okay, that definitely means he is still on probation. Okay, so the two probation are concurrent as well. Okay, thank you. This is why I love my chat. They correct me when I'm wrong, you bless me when I'm right, and you show up here. Thank you so much for being here. I truly, really appreciate you being here.
Recognize it.
I don't recognize none of it.
Okay. Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams' number 200, self-authenticating certified copy of the indictment from the Honorable Clerk of Court, Fulton County. Indictment number 11 SC 102083 for purposes of impeachment.
Any objection, Ms. Law?
No, Your Honor.
All right, it's admitted, and may be inquired upon as you see fit.
Mr. Kokomo, thank you so much. All right, this is Mr. Williams on the screen. It's also in front of you, sir. This is indictment number 11 SC 102083. You see that in the center top part of this page?
That's what the paper says, sir.
And you see it's State of Georgia versus a gentleman, Mr. Frederick Prethrow, counts 1, 3, 4, 5. You see that?
That's what the paper says.
Then a William Herman Green with an E at the end. You see that?
That's what the paper says.
Also, Shadwana, if I mispronounced, I apologize. Shajuana, Bean, same last name as you.
That's what the paper says.
And that's count 1, 3, and 4, right?
That's what the paper says.
And who is, if anyone, in relation to you, that person?
Objection, Your Honor. As
Basis.
to relevance.
I sustain the question number when you asked about Mr. Steele.
All right. And then your name.
I think the judge did wrong here. Because his relationship with his brother doing crime together is relevant here. And it would also open up for calling his brother as a witness. But I do think that is still open, since this is admitted into evidence. And I'm not entirely sure if his brother is still with us or not, but if he is, he might have incentives Adrian doesn't have to actually testify truthfully.
Name is at the end. See Adrian Bean, count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. You see that?
That's what the paper says.
Okay. And on the right-hand side, it gives the charges. You see that? 1 through 8.
Yes, sir.
Possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, possession of firearm during commission of a felony, possession of firearm during commission of a felony, again, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, again, count 7, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, misdemeanor, possession of firearm by a convicted felon. You see that?
Yes, sir.
And then you see, if you go to the, keep going to the right part of that page, it's written at an angle. You see that it says that upon the motion of the Assistant District Attorney, the within indictment is ordered placed on the dead docket, and the surety, meaning bondsperson, is relieved of liability in this case. This is the 25th day of July, 2011. You see the judge signature, and that says as only to you. You see that?
Yes, sir. What the paper says.
Okay. And then on the next page, it has people's guilty or not guilty. Then the next page, which will be the third page of this document. These are the charges that we just discussed. And I'd like to just look at,
Your Honor, I would object as to the presentation of the detail within the document improperly mutual.
documents and evidence, and it's a dead docket pending case.
Steele, same thing. If she's objected, it's a valid objection. Remember what you offered it for.
It's a dead docket.
I'm sustaining the objection.
Yeah. Dead docket means that the district attorney's office have at the time decided to put it in a dead docket. This means the case is still open, but it's investigated, which means that the statute of limitations has also been stopped. And that goes for other things. And so even if they had the convictions they were after, instead of closing the case, they put it in the dead docket. Because if they put it in the dead docket, they can bring this up on a later trial, if they believe other people can be tried for it. And this kind of got to bite them in the ass, the prosecution here, because they didn't want this in at all. But since it is in the dead docket, it's an open investigation, and it is allowed in, but not for every reason. Hello, Christine. Good to have you here. Get Black with me says, he's really stuck between a rock and a hard place. His snitching has been effectively revealed. He's probably been telling people he didn't help the police. Yeah. That... And I do believe that is why he is claiming he has a cold and keeps his mask on, so not all can see it's actually him. And I kind of understand why. But it's unconstitutional because a defendant has the right to face his accuser. So the judge allowing him to have this mask on, even though he claims a cold, okay, give me a doctor's note, you little... The jury must also be able to see his expressions. Now they only have him in a mask. Yeah, Mads, yeah. All the wrong people will recognize him. M says, I would be packing my bags and moving out of Georgia if I was him. But I wouldn't snitch. You're saying, yeah, but he's on probation. I don't think he can leave Georgia. But I wouldn't be in Atlanta, maybe. I'm working for the city of Atlanta, maybe. But yeah, he's there.
Understood. Then turn to page, please, where it says, at the very bottom, witness list. Do you see that?
Your Honor, once again, I object to Mr. Steele getting into the specifics that he's
I
trying
sustain the
to express,
objection.
and he's still on the
Your Honor,
play.
I am showing that a witness in this case is Officer Robertson L. I'd like to impeach the witness that you didn't know who that was.
Your Honor,
That's not what you offered it for, so I'm going to sustain the objection. Remember what you told me you were going to offer, what you offered the document for. I'm admitting it for that reason and that reason only.
Okay. All right. Mr. Bean, Does this change your testimony in front of the jury that you've never been charged or indicted with Mr. Frederick Prethrow again? Or besides the September 11, 2013 case?
The document you show says that. I don't remember.
All right. And Mr. Prethrow was a close, dear friend of you in the early 2010, 11, 12, 13 period. True?
Your Honor, I object to that compound question.
I stand as the form. You can rephrase, Mr. Steele.
You considered Mr. Prethrow a close friend in year 2011, right?
No, I didn't, sir.
2012,
No, I didn't.
2013.
No, I didn't, sir.
Again, here he is remembering. If he claims he has no recollections of things that happen from 2013 up to 2015, 2016, 2017, how does he remember this? This can be used to get other evidence in, because now he's contradicting himself by actually remembering. Because his statements has been throughout the state's direct examination, he don't remember anything. He doesn't remember where he lived, where he worked, what he did. But here he remembers. Yeah, I know that Molly doesn't do that to you. He remembers everything. Yeah, but in order to get things admitted into evidence as impeachment, you have to have something to impeach him to. And that is only his statements. If he sits there and says, I don't remember, I don't recall, then there's not much to impeach him with. But now he has memories, according to himself.
I didn't remember.
Did you say
Go
something?
ahead.
Did you say something?
No, sir.
Did you remember telling, and didn't you tell Detective Quinn on September 17, 2013, that Fred Prethrow was like a brother to you?
I don't remember any questions that I had with Detective Quinn, sir.
Do you remember telling me and Investigator Martin on January 22, 2023, that Fred Prethrow was very close to you?
I don't remember that either, sir.
Why did you tell the detective with City of Atlanta Police Department homicide at the hospital before you go to the Fulton County Jail?
Your Honor, I
on
object
basis.
that that's not an evidence, and I really object to that. This is asking a witness about something that isn't in evidence and will not.
Please, no speaking
It's
objection.
his statement, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
I'm
There's,
going to overrule the objection. Let me ask the question, okay? We'll see where it goes from there.
Why did you tell the detective at the hospital, Grady Hospital, on September 11th, 2013, that it was not you, but your dear friend driving that Nissan vehicle?
there are no facts that are in evidence. There will be no statement put in evidence. So I object to facts not in evidence.
Did he make the statement, Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Steele does not have any such statement.
Yeah. What happens here is a dispute of what Detective Velasquez actually said on the stand. And this will be one of the things that will be handled in the week up to the next trial date. And another reason why I'm pausing is that we have news about the Fani Willis disqualification case. First, a prosecutor in a neighboring county has come forward with a sworn affidavit that Mr. Bradley, Mr. Wade's supposed attorney, made admissions to her about how he actually wasn't Mr. Wade's attorney until he actually filed the divorce papers, which was November 2nd, 2021. And now also a new witness has come forward. This is Kathleen Latham. Let's see here. Kathleen. Yeah, so Kathleen Latham et al. Moves in with, hey, he told me this too. So there are coming out attorneys and prosecutors out of the woodwork offering testimony about what Mr. Bradley said and did to them or in the presence of them. So I assume that Miss Willis' friends or former friends is now seeing the writing on the wall. They don't want to be near Miss Willis and be dragged down with her. I will do a stream about this later in the week, but I just thought I would pause, tell you what's been going on there as well, and I will stream about it later in the week. Let's get back to his trial.
And there is no evidence that will say.
Can I see it?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask it this way. Do you have a good faith basis?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna overrule the objection.
Do you remember at time of 44 minutes, 56 seconds on September 11th, 2000? That's wrong. That's wrong. I apologize. Do you remember on September 17th, 2013, on the recording with Detective Quinn at 44 minutes and 56 seconds, telling Detective Quinn that, yes, sir, I lied to the detective when they first came and talked to me, and I told them, and that's probably the lies you're talking about. I told them Big Fred was driving, and I was the driver. Big Fred was the passenger. Do you remember saying that?
No, sir, I don't remember that, sir.
Why did you tell Detective Quinn on recording at that time, Stamp, that I just said that your dear friend is driving the car that almost killed the police officer?
I don't recall that, sir.
This is all about, and this is not the only recording that hasn't been played yet, but I'm not giving spoilers. You will hear about it.
Why did you tell Detective Quinn that you typically use your cousin's name when getting arrested so you don't get arrested and they pull up your history?
I don't recall that either, sir.
Why would you use a cousin or any other person's name so you could get out of trouble but get them into trouble? Why would you do that?
I don't recall that either.
When at the hospital,
Your Honor, I object to the hospital statement because that is the part that is not in evidence and that will not come into evidence.
Is there a statement?
yes, sir.
Show that to Miss Love. You have a good faith basis, that's fine.
I sent it to Miss Love this morning before 6 o'clock a.m. It's a 10-minute recording.
It is not a statement at the hospital. It is a statement with Mr. Steele in 2023.
Mr. Bean admits to making that statement at the hospital. This is all proper.
And you probably need to orient him to before you ask that question.
Okay. Your Honor, can Mr. Kokomo come forward with headphones and play the 10-minute recording for Mr. Bean then?
I think you need to ask him some more questions in order to do that.
Okay. Do you remember having the ability to make a phone call or phone calls from the hospital from non-recorded lines to your wife, Courtney Bean?
I object to facts not in evidence. There is, Your Honor.
I sustain the objection. Why don't you lay a little more foundation, sir?
when you were prosecuted for this case that you're here about that you pled guilty about driving you pled guilty under Alford for driving the vehicle, almost striking the police officers. We discussed that in 157C States Exhibit. That's what I'm talking about, okay?
Yeah, that's what
Answer
you
for the
said.
record. You
You
understand?
have to
what-
answer for the record, okay?
Yeah, I'm
All
out.
right.
You
Yeah,
understand?
I seen some on paper, but I don't remember.
Okay. On that case, before going to Fulton County Jail, you went to Grady Hospital. Remember telling me that? And Jimmy Martin Jr. on recording?
I don't remember any conversation we had, Mr. Steele.
And it's me. I'm confident it's not you, so I apologize, but I can't hear you. I know you said you can't remember, but then there were other words. Can you repeat
What
what
was
you
your name? Mr. Steele, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What did you say though?
I don't remember any conversation that me and you even had, sir.
Okay. Okay. Do you remember on Sunday, January 22, 2023, approximately 11 o'clock a.m., listening to a jail call that Jimmy Martin Jr. played for you in my presence at the Kroger restaurant near your, Kroger grocery store near your home?
Yes. Mr. Steele, Attorney Steele, met with Adrian Bean in January of 2023. That is recorded. Their meeting is recorded. Now, in order to get that recording in, they need some kind of opening. My suggestion is to impeach him. So far, during the direct examination from the prosecution, he only said he had no memory at all regarding things that happened 2011, 2012, 2013. He doesn't remember going to jail. He doesn't remember why he went to jail. Just that he got out of jail, turned everything around, and started a new life. So his memory loss, in my opinion, is confined with a clear line when he got out of jail, because that's the only thing he presented during the state's direct examination. January of 2023 is clearly after he came out of prison. Clearly. So now asserting equal memory loss, yeah, that's, in my opinion, my personal opinion, that's impeachable. And therefore, in my opinion, the recording Attorney Steele and his investigator did with Mr. Bean should be admissible. Oh, thank you, John, for gifting 5 memberships. That's really, really nice of you. Those went to Rachel Hope, Nanya Bitness, Value 87, SB, and Melissa. Welcome to the Viking Squad. You now have access to all my members-only content, which is many, many hours. And I stream once in a while, only for members, shorts, videos, stuff like that. There are tons of material. You also have access to my Discord. The link is in the community section on my YouTube page. And let me know if the link doesn't work. I will provide you with a new one. Okay. And once you get to Discord, tell the moderators what your YouTube name is, so they can let you in. All right? Thank you so much, Jan. That's very, very nice of you. Oh, if you look under the stream on my YouTube page, there should be a bit of merch showing. It is my mug, this sticker, and another sticker, I think. So you can find it very, very easily and support my channel that way. Thank you so much. Let's move on with the trial. Oh, wrong one, sorry. There. There.
I don't remember any conversations I had with you, Mr. Steele.
Do you remember at that Kroger restaurant, Kroger grocery store near your home on the same date? You're all going to be the same date. Sunday, January 22, 2023, approximately 11 a.m. Jimmy Martin Jr. and I introduced ourselves to you, and I made it known that I represent Mr. Jeffrey Williams, performer known as Young Thug, in this pending case. Do you remember that?
I don't remember any conversations we had, sir.
Do you remember being asked your telephone number by Investigator Martin and giving him a number? I'm not going to say it except for the last four numbers, 0730. Do you remember that?
No, sir.
Do you remember being asked by Investigator Martin your date of birth and giving it as June 22 of 1979 and stating that you're 42 years of age?
No, sir. I'm
Do you-
44, sir.
Well, today you're 44. How old were you on January 22, 2023?
I was 43 then. I wasn't 42.
Do you remember me asking you, is it okay for Investigator Martin to record verbatim our communication there at the Kroger on that same date, approximately same time?
I don't remember any conversation we done had, sir.
Do you remember explaining that Dirty Red, or a gentleman known as Derek Dotson, was a good close friend of you?
I told you that.
One more time.
I told you that.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember that either, sir.
Do you remember explaining that Fred Prothro and Walter Murphy, DK, I'm saying, were with you on September 11, 2013?
I don't remember that either, sir.
Yes, all of this is recorded. So everything Mr. Steele is going for is to find an opening to actually play it, or transcripts of it. So yeah, and I assume that that's why the prosecution is objecting. They're not objecting at this time, but oh, there will be some arguments.
Do you remember explaining that you were never charged?
One of the things why they have to object is because they claim Mr. Bean was never interviewed at the hospital because he wasn't at the hospital. But Mr. Steele has a recording of Mr. Bean saying he was interviewed at the hospital on September 11th, 2013. This means some cop again has not written down statements or erased recordings.
With any crime involving Derek Dotson or Dirty Red. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that either.
And if you look at State's Exhibit number 157C as in Colette or Charlie, it's in front of you. You see that document?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of papers that you presented, but I don't remember no like that.
Okay, well, look at the State's Exhibit number 157C. It's right in front of you. You see it?
Which one is 157C, ma'am?
One more time.
Which one is one?
Your Honor.
Okay.
And
Want me to look at it?
you can look at it. It's in evidence. And the charges against you by the grand jury were dismissed as to anything involving Derek Dotson, like you said, on January 22, 2023, correct?
I don't remember.
Do you remember explaining when talking about that entire incident involving Derek Dotson, Fred Prothro, Walter Murphy, driving, careening into the side of the laundromat, that Jeffrey Williams or Young Thug or Thug was not involved in any way?
I don't remember the conversation, sir.
Do you remember then explaining that they, meaning the detectives, tried to force Jeffrey Williams or Young Thug into it? Remember saying that?
Yeah, this goes into, I understand why he wouldn't want to snitch on Mr. Williams and the others. Here's my issue with this revelation. If he doesn't want to snitch, why doesn't he help the defense? Well, in one hand, he wants to keep his family and himself safe, I assume. And he's still on probation. He, according to his probation conditions, he can't lie on the stand. So he's forked either way. That's why he claims to not remember anything. And here's the thing, neither the prosecution nor the defense give two shits on a straw about this man's personal struggles. They are there for their clients. The defense are there for their clients, and the prosecution wants the defendants convicted. So, and this is a good pause, because now Mr. Bean is not happy. I don't know what promises they gave him, but he's definitely not happy about Mr. Steele going on the offense against him. Definitely not. And you know what? I don't care. Mr. Steele, bring it. Bring it. You have a responsibility to your client to vigorously defend him in this courtroom. You're doing a great job doing it, despite the prosecution's shenanigans and despite the judge's reluctance to be impartial in this. Yes, Strain. His name is Adrian Bean. His name is Mr. Bean. No relations to the British Mr. Bean.
I think that was something you said, right?
No.
I know.
Listen to this again. Remember, I don't recall, I don't remember, I don't recall. Listen to this again.
I think that was something you said, right?
No.
I believe that was something you said. This is him on the stand admitting he does remember. Again, impeachable. Again, impeachable. So he is giving tiny little openings for the defense to bring everything in they have. There's one person in that courtroom who decides if they can, and that's the judge.
I don't remember that.
Okay. Do you remember explaining that the police wanted Thug in it and there was a lot of, quote, hype on the street?
I don't remember, sir.
Do you remember again emphasizing that Jeffrey Williams or Thug or Young Thug was not involved in any way on September 11, 2013.
I don't remember the conversation, sir.
Do you remember me referring to that jail recording between you and your wife made from the Fulton County Jail? And I asked you, what did it mean when you said, quote, they gave us a story to tell? Remember that?
No, sir.
Do you remember explaining that what you were referring to is that at the hospital, the police would...
Yeah. As Trey says, help me beat the YouTube algorithm. Thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Write a comment in the chat. Share if you have social media accounts. But I'm very happy that there is over 100 of you here at the same time. So please hit that thumbs up. Keep watching this. Help my channel grow. I've been covering this damn trial since May of last year. I deserve it because I will cover this trial from gavel to gavel. I said that last year and I'm saying it to you now. While other channels might, oh, we can't be bothered anymore, it might not be the wisest choice. I might have tons of more subscribers and stuff if I started to cover other more hyped up things. No, I will cover this from gavel to gavel because I said I would.
telling us to lie, put Young Thug in on it, or face a lot of time in prison. Remember saying that?
I don't remember the conversation.
Do you remember explaining that you were the driver of that 2004 Nissan Altima vehicle, red vehicle, on September 11, 2013?
I don't recall.
But explaining that the police wanted you to make Young Thug the driver. You remember that?
I don't remember, sir.
Do you remember explaining on January 22, 2023, that you told the police on recording that Jeffrey was involved in this crime because you wanted to serve less time in prison?
No, sir.
Do you recall explaining that you made calls from the Fulton County Jail that you knew were being recorded to support your lie to the police that Jeffrey was involved on September 11, 2013?
No, sir.
Do you remember again emphasizing that Jeffrey Williams, I call him Jeffrey Williams, Thug, whatever you call him, was not involved at all with this crime?
I don't remember, sir.
Do you remember explaining that Derek Dotson died, God forbid, before your case came to the court, and therefore all the cases involving Derek Dotson were completely dismissed as to you? Remember that?
I don't remember, sir.
Do you remember explaining that you got 3 years to serve in prison for shooting 2 people in addition to this case?
I don't remember the conversation.
Do you remember explaining that you are not involved with any criminal street gang and that September 11, 2013 was not criminal street gang activity? Remember that? Basis.
Assuming that's not an evidence in this case.
That's what he said on recording. I'll rule the objection. Do you remember saying that?
I don't.
This is a hint on the judge's future decision. Mr. Steele saying it's on the recording, and the judge is overruling the prosecution's objection. That is a hint for what's going to happen later in the cross-examination. Not today, but they will keep cross-examining this guy on Wednesday next week when trial continues. They are on a 1 week break now. So next week, Wednesday next week, when the cross-examination continues, oh, I can't wait. And yeah. Yes, Primo says, lying through his teeth. That's why he's got to wear a mask. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember, Steele.
And Your Honor, I also object as to compound, because we don't know which question you may answer.
I'll sustain it as the form. You can rephrase, Mr. Steele.
Do you remember explaining that you are not a part of YSL if it is a criminal street gang?
I don't remember, sir.
Well, are you part of a criminal street gang?
No, sir.
Do you have any tattoos of gang activity?
No, sir.
Do you remember explaining that you only know young Thug, Jeffrey, through radio and seen him in the neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember again stating that young Thug was not in any vehicle with you?
Your Honor, I ask that the witness be oriented as to when. And
So what's the
the
objection?
objection is to form the question.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. You can rephrase, sir.
Do you remember explaining again on January 22, 2023, on recording to Investigator Martin and myself at the Kroger's near your home, that young Thug was not in any vehicle on September 11, 2013 with you?
I may have. I don't remember the conversation, though, Steele.
Do you remember explaining that young Thug, who I call Jeffrey Williams, never directed you to commit any criminal activity?
I don't remember.
Do you remember explaining that on the street, everybody wants to go against the man? They want to go against young Thug. He's got the money. Remember saying that?
Your Honor, I object and ask that he orient the witnesses.
I sustain this form.
Do you remember on Sunday, approximately 11 to 11:22, at Kroger's near your home, stating on recording to Investigator Martin and me that the street everybody wants to go against the man, young Thug. He's got money. Remember that?
I may have said that.
One more time.
I may have said something like that.
Do you remember?
And there it is. This he remembers, which clearly means he remembers being there, talking to them, watching recordings, watching everything. There it is. An admittance that he actually remembers this meeting and what they talked about. That's the actual opening. I would be amazed if the ruling is anything other than the recording Mr. Steele and his investigator has of this. This have to be played in court. It has to. In my opinion, this judge cannot sustain the prosecution's objections to this recording. But there it is. Let's listen to it again.
Everybody wants to go against the man, young Thug. He's got money. Remember that?
I may have said that.
One more time.
I may have said something like that.
Do you remember explaining that all you know is that Thug is in the studio?
I may have said something like that. I don't remember though, Mr. Steele.
Do you also remember giving your opinion that Derek Dotson killed himself? This is a 10-year-old matter and this should be over with. You remember saying that?
Something like that.
When you were prosecuted for what's in State's Exhibit number 157C is in Colette with Charlie. When that case was prosecuted, you received what's called a sharing of information or discovery, you and your lawyer, from the state of Georgia. Remember that?
Never received one, sir.
Okay. Do you know what?
That he remembers. All of a sudden, this is why Mr. Steele is paid the big bucks. The prosecution failed miserably to get anywhere with this witness. In more or less 2 full days of direct examination, it took Mr. Steele about 2 hours, or maybe an hour and a half, to get him to start saying things that he actually remembers. That is why Mr. Steele, I mean, it's a masterclass in cross-examination. He is good. And speaking of good, hit that damn like button. It's free. I deserve it. You know that. I know that. Okay?
Whether your lawyer received one,
Objection is speculation.
if you know.
I'll overrule the objection.
I never seen a discovery.
I cannot hear you.
I never seen or had a discovery.
Have you ever seen any of the memorandum, recording, note of your meeting with the detective at the hospital on September 11, 2013?
Objection, assuming facts that are not in evidence. There's no good faith basis for that. There's no such interview.
You all come on up.
There's over 140 of you here and only 45 likes. Jesus Christ, folks. It can't be that difficult. I deserve it. And speaking of deserving things, sidebar counter 104. They keep going. The sidebars. The sidebars. Ah, the sidebars. The sidebars. Ah.
Come on.
Ah. And sidebar, 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 sidebar. Sidebar, sidebar, sidebar. Sidebar over.
Chris, you have to get some more tape. She's coming off. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
John Commun, we need a thunderclap for the laugh, and we need you to get your vampire cape. Avanti, saker, blad. No. Okay, Stray says, for the boomers in the chat, you have to exit out of the chat to hit the thumbs up if you're on your phone. Okay. Thank you. Let's listen to the judge here. We are. This is close to the end of the day.
We got to take up some other things, and so what I want to do at this point in time is go ahead and recess for the day. Okay. So, Mr. Bean. I need you to be here for 10 o'clock on Wednesday, March the 13th.
Yes, sir.
10 o'clock, Wednesday, March the 13th. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, don't discuss your testimony to anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay?
All right, 10 o'clock. Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Steele, excellent cross-examination so far, wore him down completely, got him to actually remember things, which is opening up for everything else he has. I would be surprised beyond recognition if the judge does not allow.
Okay.
Jingles.
Um,
Hello, Mr. Jingles.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, jury, let me go ahead and take up a couple of things with you. Okay, as you know, we are going to be in recess tomorrow through next Tuesday. So that's the 5th through the 12th. So we good for that? Okay, now, I've shared with counsel that I'm in receipt of some correspondence from you about that you've taken an unscientific poll amongst yourselves, not in violation of the court's admonitions, but to ask about spring break and parentage and other things. Is that right? Don't be bashful now. Come on now. I got paper, okay? So have a good faith basis asking you this, all right? So is that your desire between the 1st and the 5th of April to be?
Yeah, when he first said that there has been a vote, I'm just, oh, fuck no. But then, okay, they want time off in the beginning of April during spring break. Okay. Whew. Can I do an overall recap? Oh, the entire trial? Or just day 41? Day 41, Mr. Bean, direct examination from the prosecutors. It was all, no ma'am, I don't recollect anything. And that he has done since day 38 or 39 or something like that. And remembered nothing. Then mid-morning, or the start of day 41, it was cross-examination by Mr. Steele. First hour before lunch, couldn't really get through him, but really good work getting up to the point of about 20 minutes ago. So if you're just joining, go back 20 minutes because it's amazing to see Mr. Steele wearing Mr. Bean down. So he starts admitting that he actually remembers things. So that is amazing. Amazing work by Mr. Steele today.
Down. I think a majority of you wish for that to occur.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I've talked with our lawyers, and I think that would be appropriate. Okay, so I wanted to address it to you now because I know you all want to plan. All right, but don't ask me for nothing else. Okay, nothing. Okay, all right. As long as we're good with that. Okay, no. I'll do it, and I think it's appropriate for you all to be able to spend that time with your for those of you that have school age children and the like. So we will be taking up other matters during that particular period of time. Okay, fair enough. All right. There's another person that sent me a note talking about the 20th of March. Don't identify yourself, okay? But I feel on pretty good authority that particular morning you will be able to make that appointment that you need to make. But I've told all of you, please make your appointments I think I give you enough time.
The judge seems to take care of this jury. And I would agree if I didn't know that this trial will take the rest of the year. I would be pleasantly surprised if it ends this year. When these jurors was seated, the only thing they knew was that this trial would take several weeks or months. Not one time has the judge told them this will take at least 6 months. And we are now 3 months in, and the prosecution is nowhere near finished with their case in chief. I don't even think they are a third of the way of their case in chief. So far, they have called around 80 witnesses. On their witness list is 771 people. And unless they shape up and starts calling 20 per day, I mean, this is, and so I say this, and I've said it before, I will say it again, this judge does not respect the jurors' time at all, because he is late all the time. He takes long breaks, long lunches. That is not being respectful to the jurors' time. They get paid $25 a day for being there. $25. That doesn't even cover gas and lunch. That's disrespectful. This entire process, this entire trial is a waste of money. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. Yes, Bama boy, it's unprofessional. He could, at any point in time, say, I've heard enough. Prosecutor, you have nothing. And the things you said you had is directly refuted by the defense. You have nothing. Get out of my courtroom. He has the discretion of saying that. And he chooses not to.
So that we don't have any, kind of discrepancies with this as much as we can do it. Okay. So, try as much as you can. I mean, I know life happens and
I don't think the right to work extends to jury duty. You can't be fired even on the right to work statute. I don't think so. Not entirely sure. I'm 80% sure you can't be fired during jury duty. They can be fired directly after, but not during, in a right to work state.
Yeah, we'll flex on that, and we appreciate that. But to the extent that you can make your appointments or on the other days that will be kind of down or have administrative time, please go ahead and do so. Okay. So, huh?
In recent, a couple of us have been in some
And hit that thumbs up.
Pushback from who?
The doctor's office. Some of them are booking out, like at least.
I understand that, and we'll work with you. Okay, I understand that. I'm giving you a hard time, but but to the extent that you can, please do so. But we'll do whatever we can with that. Okay, but if you can, what I'd rather you do, if you do have an appointment, make it first thing in the morning or as late as you can in the afternoon, so we can go ahead and take some. I can release you early or have you come in late. Okay. So to the extent you can, I mean, as I tell people all the time, life happens and then you do your various vocation. So we'll do what we can for that. All right. Okay. All right. So
there's 150 of you here. At least get me to 100 likes. That's 2/3 of you. Please. It really matters for YouTube, the amount of likes compared to the amount of viewers. So please do that, please.
do I have any other ministerial inquiries of me at this point in time? Now that I've addressed the spring break and other appointments, and we'll just, like I said, we'll deal with them as best we can. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other inquiry, question? You sure? All right. Okay.
All right. Stray says, for those new to the channel, give us a little of your background. Okay. Hello. Welcome to my trial watch. I'm Nick. I'm a union rep. I do labor law. I actually have a law degree. Yes, I have. I don't do criminal law. I do labor law, as in wrongful terminations, accidents, stuff like that. I'm Swedish. Start from the pillaging area. No. So yeah, I'm trained in evidence evaluation. I'm trained in witness evaluation. I am trained in this. So I do believe I give you some value by streaming this trial and trying to explain what's going on. Even though I'm not in criminal law, I'm not even in US-based law. So, but I've heard very nice things from my view. Jesus Christ, Mr. Jingles, don't put your ass in my neck. Oh yeah, this is Mr. Jingles. He is our supreme leader for the Jingles Viking Thugs. According to Georgia RICO Act, that could be construed as a gang. So we are all a part of Mr. Jingles Viking Thugs gang. That's a little bit about me. If you become members, I talk a lot more about me and what I do in the members only content.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, unless you have anything else of me, what I'll do is at this point in time, I'll give you the customary ad nauseum admonitions. The temptation is great. Well, let's see what the lawyers and the
Let's skip ahead to what he is talking to the lawyers about. That's more interesting.
I will include, or you're welcome to take a look at these notes. I'm just not going to make them for public discernment. I will seal them in reference to our juror that has a doctor's appointment as well as.
Oh yeah, I also have a wheel of regrets. That is, on occasions, you super chat or gifted memberships or something like that, and I spin the wheel of regrets, which has alcohol, hot sauce, and weird stuff on it. And it goes, you hand over $50 combined. I mean, I don't mind $25 $2 thingies. I spin the wheel and I will do what it says. This is on Fridays usually. For instance, this stands on. Thank you, Mr. Jingles, for putting your asshole in my face. No. And if this happens on Friday, I have to eat a spoonful of habanero sauce. So that is some. Oh, Jesus Christ. Buy some snack, but you look out. No. We'll see. We'll see. But first, let's listen to what the judge and the lawyers have to say.
The unscientific poll that the jurors have taken. Okay, so you're welcome to take a look at them. I'm gonna give those to Ms. Weaver, and they'll be sealed for purpose of record. Okay. The other thing, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but the first of, and I had a bench conference with representatives from the state, Ms. Love, and also Mr. Steele and Mr. Matthews in regards to that week that the jurors are going to be down for those, their children that are in the Atlanta system, Fulton County system, as well as that particular week of starting the 1st of April. It's the court's pleasure for us to take up Monday the 1st and or Tuesday the 2nd, any outstanding motions that may be had at that point in time. So block your calendars for 1 April, 2 April, that's Monday and Tuesday. And the court is going to give you a little bit of a administrative pause for the rest of the week, okay? But to the extent that we can, I know Mr. Steele's got a couple of motions that I need to take up at that point as well. So, all right. Any questions of me? Anyone? All right. Okay, so folks, all right, as to the ministerial, as to the schedule.
Come on.
Okay. Since our jury has left us and we're it's advocates and clients and the court. The last thing that we were talking about at the bench was in reference to conversations that were supposedly made by Mr. Bean at the hospital. And I believe that we are in disagreement as to a couple of things. One, whether or not the statement was made referencing an event at the hospital. So I want to say that in order to seek ground zero on that, we'll have to let Ms. Weaver prepare or at least the transcript in reference to the testimony of Detective Velasquez.
Yeah, the prosecution argues that Mr. Velasquez never mentioned it, so it should not have been even asked of by Mr. Steele. Issue here is Mr. Steele has a recording of Mr. Bean claiming he was interviewed at the hospital. So there are ways to get around that, but there are also ways to sustain the prosecution's objections. Because now, if the prosecution can show Mr. Velasquez never opened that door, then the defense might not have had the right to ask the question about an interview. Well, at least not in this trial. Even though they have a recording of him, they have to open the door. So that's the only reason. What did Mr. Velasquez actually say on the witness stand? Can they get around that? Can they get around that? I believe they can, because Mr. Velasquez on the stand admitted that he erased recordings of statements if he didn't like the answer. So his truthfulness surrounding is, in my opinion, completely gone. Mr. Velasquez, now retired, is, in my opinion, a dirty cop. He's a bad cop who now under oath said to this court under oath that he erases evidence if it doesn't suit him. If the answers in a recording doesn't suit him.
In regards to his testimony on this particular statement made by Mr. Bean's statements, okay? That also may have to be cross-referenced along with the interview of Mr. Bean, as well as the purported statements that were made to Mr. Steele and his investigator. So, counsels, I'm going to let you all kind of take a look at those three sources and be prepared to kind of talk about those when they come back on the 13th to see whether or not, in fact, that is, if we've been able to find some particular granularity on those particular statements and in terms of whether or not this particular conversation was had at the hospital or not.
Your Honor. And Your Honor, I have, if we will address this on the 13th, we can do that. I will be presenting to the court the statements that were made by Detective Lewis, and of course we'll wait.
Detective who?
Well, Detective Lewis stated that when she went to the hospital, there were two males there.
Okay, so we'll need her testimony as well.
Right, I can give the court the statement that she gave.
Oh, I'll the statement or the transcript, the testimony.
She has not testified yet.
Okay,
She has not testified, but Detective Velasquez
referenced her
going to speak to Frederick Prothero and Walter Murphy. And then after she came back to the homicide office, after she came back from speaking with Murphy and Prothero, when talking to Brian Taylor Ransom, they learned that the car had been loaned out to Adrian Bean. So on scene, they did not know what, if anything, Adrian Bean had to do with the incident that occurred over in Summerdale. And Adrian Bean,
Okay, but the issue we're trying to get granularity on is whether or not Mr. Bean was taken to the hospital, whether or not he made statements from the hospital. That's what the genesis of you all's discussion is, or was it up here at the bench?
that's right.
So can we focus on that? That's what you objected to, because you said there's no basis for him. And Mr. Steele says, well, this is what he told me in the taped interview I had with who's your investigator again? Mr. James Martin Jr. So that's what the contention is.
That's the base, and that is the basis for the objection, because Adrian Bean never went to the hospital, and I was only.
Okay, well, he might have lied. I mean,
to them, yes.
yeah, I mean, and that might be the truth. I mean, he lied.
And your cops might also have lied. How do we know that? Because Mr. Velasquez admitted he erases evidence. That's why. And he said on the stand, that is not unusual, or something of the sort. That's why the defense, during cross-examination of a few of the later cops, asked that specific question: do you erase statements? And they were shocked, surprised, and said no. Miss whatever her name was, actually said under oath, doing that, erasing evidence, is criminal. Scott McGinnis, thank you for your $10 super chat. SCOTUS, in a unanimous decision, have thwarted all corrupt DAs throughout the United States, including Fani Willis. Yeah, Trump will be on the presidential ballot in all 50 states. Yes. I made a video where I read the SCOTUS decision. I posted it yesterday? No, March 2nd. So a few days ago. No, not March 2nd. Sorry. My bad. When did I post it? I posted it yesterday. So you can find that on my page where I read from the actual decision. I will actually hold on while I post the I will post the link. There. SCOTUS decision, because I commented on it and read from the actual decision. And I approve of that decision. I believe that the United States Constitution and amendments are by far the best safeguard against government overreach in the world. Way better than anything we have here in the European Union. Way better. You need to take care of that Constitution and its amendments, because you will, if you ruin them, they will never come back. None of it. If people manage to destroy the Constitution, you will never get it back. Never. It doesn't matter. Remove Trump from the equation completely. Because even if you're against Trump or for Trump, whatever, it doesn't matter. Because every piece of the US Constitution that is eroded will never come back, and it will be used against the people you actually like, the people you want in office. It doesn't matter, Democrat, Independent, Republican. It doesn't matter. It will be used against the people you like.
Right about it. So, but whether or not that happened or not, I mean, I want you all to, I mean, I know Mr. Steele wants to know whether or not that is true or not, because he certainly doesn't want to present any untrue testimony to the tribunal. But if he has another good faith basis that he was actually at the hospital, that's what I want you all to find out.
Yes.
Mr. Steele, I think you need to find that out, sir. Whether or not he did, in fact, because you can't also, I know you would never do this. You cannot tell a witness something that you know is not true either. So, and I know you wouldn't do that. But I think that since this has been made an issue, let's just find out. Because if, I mean, there's any number, a couple scenarios that might be that might have occurred in this situation. So I'll let you all figure them out.
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. Thank you. We
All
will, yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Steele, want to add anything? No, sir. All right. Do either counsel want to add anything about the conversation we had at the bench in reference to our administration?
We have 80. There's 171 of you here. I have 88 likes. 12 more. That's all I ask for. 12 more of you to hit the thumbs up. 12 more, please, for me, because I'm busting my ass here covering this trial. I deserve it. Oh.
Administrative pause in terms of our jury. You didn't know what I was talking about, right? No. I was asking Ms. Love about, do you want to add anything in reference to our conversation up here at the bench about the administrative pause?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
We're just fine with that.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other ministerial or any other things I need to take up?
No.
Okay. All right. So you all figure that out, and then I'll take it from there on the 13th in regards to Mr. Bean's statement. Okay. All right. Okay. Unless there's anything else, councils, we'll see you all on the 13th of March at 10 o'clock. Okay.
All right. That was it from day 41. Tomorrow, there is an important hearing regarding Fani Willis. It's a hearing, Georgia Senate Council meeting, where Attorney Merchant is called to testify about what actually was said between her and Mr. Bradley regarding all the alleged lies that was told on the stand on the Fani Willis disqualification case. If it's streamed, I will stream it. If it's not streamed, I will go directly into the what the hell's story. Stop being so needy. Yeah. If you all press the like button, I wouldn't ask for it that much. Yeah, so tomorrow, what the hell's, unless the hearing is streamed, then I will stream it. Yeah, because the Fani Willis debacle, the more people there are a lot of attorneys speaking up against her now, because they don't want to be on her sinking ship. And that might actually, in the end, have some, there's a slimmer of hope that her removal will actually have some effect on this trial. It might have. I don't think so, but it might. So let's grab that straw. Let's grab that straw. 99 thumbs up. One more, folks. One more. Dun, dun, dun. And bum, bum, bum. Let's see here. Mine says 98. For some reason. Oh. Rewatch crew, give us the thumbs up. All right. Regarding the Young Thug trial, Wednesday next week at 10 a.m. So about 11, because this judge is always late. Tomorrow, as I said, either the hearing or about the what the hell's story. Thursday, yet to be determined, and Friday, it is, oh, I deleted it instead of showing it. It is the Wheel of Regrets. All right. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this clusterfuck of a trial. Thank you. I will be directing you over to a Scandinavian friend of mine, Broken Baker, who is doing a weird trial himself. And it is day one. So, again, thank you. And as I always say, hug your family. unless your family is shit, then fuck them and give your love to the people who deserve it. Okay? Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.